This is a Nissan Altima 2013. I'm going to show you how to put the LED lighting kit from H2 Auto Designs in this car. Alright, so this is the H2 Auto Design LED lighting kit specific to Nissans. So when you receive the package, I'm just going to open it up here for y'all. A couple things are going to be, yep, got everything. So these are just some accessories that you're going to need: tape, glue, zip ties, that type of stuff, alcohol swabs. This is the vehicle specific harness. This will connect to something in your car, and then this will plug into the light, so you don't need no wire splicing, no ugly cigarette lighters. These are the actual LEDs connected. You'll notice two sides, one for the driver's side, one for the passenger side, and then this is the dimmer switch that will be mounted so you can dim the lights on and off. And then this we're just going to use to pass the LED from the passenger side to the driver's side. So that's in a nutshell what we're getting. It looks simple, deceptively simple, which is sort of the point of the kit. So we have to get access to the glove box light, and a glove box light is located in here. So we need to take a couple panels off. The first thing we're going to take off is this panel, and this one actually just slaps, actually pops right off here. If you have a tool, it might be a little bit easier. So you could put a flathead screwdriver in here. I have these plastic pry tools that I have, so flathead screwdriver would work fine. Just try not to get it too dirty, but try not to get it too, don't want to ruin the plastic. So I'm just gonna do this. Pop this. This guy comes right off. Put this somewhere else. We have a handful of screws that we need to remove. So I'm gonna try to do a close-up on these screws. Let's see, there is one right here. One, we got two, we have three, and then back here, deeper in here, these are a little bit harder to see, but there's one and two. Using a Phillips head screwdriver, I'm just gonna go ahead and start taking off these screws here. I always like to throw everything in my cup holder, because then that way I won't forget it. Screw number 2. Screw number 3. And then, like I said, we have two that are deeper in here. So I'm gonna put my screwdriver a little deeper in there and get those two. Yeah, if you had a drill, this would probably go a lot faster. And I have a drill, but I wanna show how you could do this with pretty much not very many tools. And these all look like the same screw, so no need to separate them. All 5 of them look like they're the exact same screw, actually. So they can probably go back in any order. And as you start taking these screws off, you can actually tell the glove box is getting a little bit looser. So the screws, you might have to push in just a little bit for the last couple screws, but let's see. I still got that one 100%. Come on. Come on. Here we I said 5 screws, I lied to you, because there are a couple more guys. Let's see if I can get a good angle on these. We see one right here, 1, another one in the middle, 2, and number 1 all the way over here, which is 3. So instead of 5, got a total of 8. Sorry about the camera here, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove all of these screws. I'll just see if I can prop this guy down here. Let's see. Taking out some screws, la 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 la. Taking out some screws. I gotta entertain myself somehow, right? Let's see. Oh, that is screw number 2, or I guess 7 of 8. Get that last screw there. I'm actually pushing my head against the glove box because it is definitely feeling mighty loose. Come on. Here, screw, 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 screw. Here, screw, 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 screw. Come on, is this thing been spinning? Oh, it'd help if, never mind. Oh my God. Yeah, so definitely put your hand here, lift a little bit, because this thing, the very last screw pretty much wants to fall off. All right, that screw has a little bit more turning to do. All right. Okay, all our screws are off here, so I'm just gonna again open this. So this thing is pretty much ready to come off. There's some tabs that will have to be pulled down. Wanted to point out 2 things. There's actually 2 wires that run to this glove box. One is for the glove box light. Excuse me, that's the one we're gonna be accessing. The other one goes to the switch, which just controls your trunk release. So when we pull this down, we can't yank it all out just because this might be a short wire. So we might have to unplug this. So I'm just gonna go here, starting from this one side. You can actually see these tabs, and then you just pull. Oh, this thing, all right, comes right out. So this guy's dropping down, and we can see our 2 wires. So you don't want to pull this out too much because we don't want to put too much tension on this wire, but we have the light, glove box light, and then this other light for the trunk release. All we're going to do is there's a tab for underneath that I'm going to push up and then out. So a little tab, you can find it. It's hard to see with the camera. You push up, and then this thing should pull right out. All right, so maybe here's a better close-up on the tab I was pulling. So right there, so you just push that up and pull right out. So that tab's out. This is good. This one is actually long enough that, you know, there's a good amount of slack. So I just don't want this to be tugging. So I can actually just rest this right here. This is gonna be what we want to get. So again, you push down. There's a little tab here, and we're gonna push down on this tab and then pull out. And I'll do another close-up here. So again, this is the tab right here. We're just pushing down on that and pulling out. And again, on the other switch, this one's a little bit more difficult, but again, this is the tab. We're just pushing that, and you push and then pull out. In this case, that one went like that, where the tab was underneath. So now that we got these out, we're gonna grab our kit. This is our vehicle specific plug and play kit. So we're gonna grab this. It has a female end with a hole and a male end. So we're gonna go to our light that comes from our car, connect that. Then from the other side, it looks like in this case, this tab that we pulled before is gonna be facing down. Drop that in there. Perfect. From here, we need access to this later, so there's a big hole right here. We're just gonna drop this wire down. I'm just pulling it from the side, and yeah, so now we can put the glove box back because we don't need, oh, actually I lied, one more thing. Remember this tab, don't forget this tab. If you don't connect this tab, then your trunk thing won't work. So again, remember the tab that we pushed down right here is gonna be facing downwards. This has to be closer, a little bit closer up. And you put that tab in there, call it good. And then this literally, you'll see like this tab line up in, oh, excuse me, this tab lines up with that. This tab lines up with that. And you literally just push it back. You'll hear some clicks. Now this thing is more or less good to go. Remember, we still have our screws we have to put on, those 8 screws we took off, but we'll do that at the end. We just want to make sure the lighting kit works. So now I have this, and this will go ahead and get routed. Well, you actually have a choice right now. Let me stop for a moment. You have a choice. So our dimmer switch. So this dimmer switch, when the lights are working, this dimmer switch will turn, it will take the lights down or turn them completely off. So you could mount this right here or something. The only problem is if you're driving, you wouldn't have access to it. So I guess what I do in my car is I like this on the driver's side. So if you're gonna keep it on the driver's side, the reason this cord is so long is if you wanna put it on the driver's side, you can run it through to the other side. If you wanna keep it here, you can do that too. So you have a choice. We are going the route where the dimmer switch is going to be on the driver's side. So right now I'm on the driver's side of the car. I have the LEDs, brought the LEDs with me. You'll be able to see the LEDs here. You'll notice there's 2 sides. One side of the LEDs that has this wire. This needs to stay on the driver's side. So ultimately these LEDs will be here and the LEDs will go on the other side. So I have that little handy dandy wire that came in my accessory kit. So I'm gonna grab this, and this is essentially just it's actually part of a name tag, but anyway, this is gonna essentially be our tape. So you're just gonna do this around here for the tape. So these are taped together, and then our goal is just to get this to go to the other side of the vehicle. So you just put this here, and right behind the driver's side pedal, you're just gonna shove this through here, and if you feel any resistance, just pull it back. I think maybe your air cabin filter, something's back there, but we're just gonna put that through here, and I think the lower you go, the better. Let's see. Nah, not quite. Oh yeah, here we go. That looks relatively resistance free. Shove that through. Will probably be all right. So now I'm gonna go to the other side of the vehicle here, and on the other side we'll see our white little wire here. So we'll pull this, and we'll undo this tape. All right, so I undid the tape that was on here. So now the LED is right here. The wire is still here, so we don't want to pull that out just yet, because again, from your little kit here, grab some more tape. You don't want to pull anything out just yet, because we need to send this wire, we need to send this wire that again came from here. We need to send that back over to the other side. So while this is still pulled through, tape this Ooh, man, let me actually drop the, let me change the camera angle. So while that's ran through, grab that wire that's dropping down, do it in line, and just run that right past here. And now that these two are together, give it a good tug to make sure it's good. Now we're gonna go back. Excuse me. All right, so now we're going back over to the driver's side. And on the driver's side, this white thing that we have, again, the little white wire, we're giving it just a little tug, and we'll pull the other wire. And again, if you get any resistance, just pull it back and wiggle it till it comes out. All right, so now we got this out here, and with it, it dragged my friend the wire. So this white wire we won't need anymore, so we could just throw that out there. So now on this side, we have more or less everything we need. So we have this plug that again came from the other side. We have this, which is for our LEDs. So these will go together, but before they go together, the dimmer switch, dimmer, oh, here it is. The dimmer switch will go in the middle. So this next step is pretty important. So in your kit, you have a couple things. You have alcohol swabs, which help clean the area, and then you have an adhesive. So people will report that these LED, like the adhesive on the back of the LED lights might come off. So if you need to, you could use that glue, but I've been running it without glue on my GTR for about a year now with no issues. I think the biggest thing is just making sure the area is clean. So you have 2 alcohol swabs. So make sure to clean off the area where you want to put the lights and the dimmer switch. So let me see if I can, I'm gonna take the camera off my head again. So I'm looking underneath the vehicle. So the LEDs will probably just go really good right across here. And I want to put the dimmer switch probably right there. So this is the area that I'm going to clean and let dry. So, let it dry for, 20 to 30 seconds, maybe a minute. And again, after you clean it, you want to try not to touch it with your hands, because your hands have oil and grease and all this type of stuff. So we're just going to kind of, things keep falling, clean one side, and then we'll take the camera over to the other side and clean side number 2. And again, this is the passenger side, and same area more or less on, you're thinking, at least I'm thinking, like right here is probably where I'd put them. You can put them wherever you want, really, but again, clean this area and try not to drop your alcohol swab like I did. But clean this area, wait some time. All right, so now back to the driver's side. So again, this dimmer switch, remember, is what will allow us to turn the lights on and off. So we're almost done, but the dimmer switch also needs to be stuck. So these have built-in adhesive on there, the LED lights, but the dimmer switch doesn't. So there's some Velcro in here. So just peel off one of the 2 sides and pop it to the bottom of your dimmer switch here. So I got one out of the 2 sides peeled off. And then the last thing is, so now we have this wire, which will connect in here. This wire, which will connect in here. And everything is connected, and now we just need to mount this stuff and tie it with zip ties, and then put the 8 screws back on the glove box, and we are done. So first, I like to just roughly figure out where I want this stuff, and we already did that. And then I'm gonna take the camera down again. Let's see, so take the camera down. Let's see, I'm thinking, yeah, again, like right here, I think would be good for the lights. There's an OBD connection right here, so you don't want to necessarily block that, because you would need that. So again, I'm just sort of peeling off the adhesive here, and I like to run it in line, so the wire's on this side. And let's just find a spot. I like right here, right behind the OBD switch. You know, try to center it in the car. Once you push it on there, push it, you know, make sure to push every side. And looking good. All right, same thing with our Velcro on here. So I'm gonna peel off one side with the Velcro on here. I'm gonna pop that guy right down here. Try to not touch that adhesive again. You can even see it's getting fingerprints and stuff on there. So the dimmer switch has two sides. Make sure the switch is facing towards you and plop it somewhere. I think right here. We'll probably shouldn't pull it off once you put it on, but I want to put it as far out of the way from that OBD switch as I can. Yeah, we'll just end up doing right there. All right, so again, once you put any type of adhesive, you just push on it just to make sure it has good bonding time. And you'll see there's a bunch of wires dangling down. We don't want any of these wires to dangle down because they can, you know, cause your pedals and stuff to get in the way. So usually there's some space right behind the panel where you can just pretty much tuck the wires so they are not visible or hanging. And that's one of the things I like about this kit, is it is meant to be a clean install. So you can, yeah, it's actually worked pretty well where you can tuck the wires here. I'm just gonna keep tucking the wires back behind this panel. And there are zip ties that I have if you need any of these, but this panel is working as a pretty big, nice catch for stuff. So yeah, this panel's actually working pretty well. So this, and then, oh yeah, panel is not working. That panel's working pretty well. And I actually am gonna use a zip tie. All right, this part's gonna be super hard to see, but I ended up zip tying it in two places. There was a little hook or a little hole right behind this white little sensor. So I zip tied it here, and then there's just a little thing back here to zip tie it. You could tape it, you can tuck it. You would essentially want to make sure your pedals are, you know, you want to have a very clear path for your pedals. So you just don't want to be able to hit anything on your pedals. Yeah, let's finish this thing up. So back to the, oh man, what am I talking about? I lied. We still have an LED down here. Yes, so this one's hopefully a lot easier than the other side. All right, got my wires tucked under there. You know, again, you don't have to tuck them all too aggressively. You just want them so people can't see them. And again, so last couple bits are attaching the glove box. So again, we pushed it in already, so that looks good. Now just put a couple screws. Again, there was 8 screws. There's 3 up here, 2 in the back, and 3 on the bottom. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start putting these back. And my general strategy when I have multiple screws is to attach the screws. You don't tighten everything down. Put a couple in so they're like tight enough, but not like super tight down. Grab a couple, you know, just to make sure everything seats in properly. And then after that, tighten them all down at the end. they got those. Last step, this guy goes back on. Make sure that this thing doesn't move. Make sure there's no gaps. Looks good. And then let's test out the system, I guess. Alrighty, so last step, let's just test this guy out. So these work when your glove box light is on, and when your glove box light is on, it's because your headlights are on. So turn your car to the on position or start it, whatever. I'm gonna turn these headlights to on. So now you can't see it because it's daytime, but these should be on. So let's dip down and take a look. And we have light. If you don't have light, first thing do, turn this knob, because this knob may be off. So knob has to be on and headlights have to be on. Let's test the other side. Other sides are go, we're good. That is it. So any questions, hit me up on my website. It's h2autodesigns.com, or leave a comment in this video. And yeah, love to answer your questions and go from there. Thanks.